Hi, we're the Payne family.
And our daughter Madeline is medically complex, and this is our story. I had a normal pregnancy, I had a normal labor, normal delivery, and we went home with a healthy baby. Maddie failed her newborn hearing screening, but at the time we thought, oh, it's not that big of a deal, maybe she'll have hearing aids, at most, that's not a huge problem. And then around 4 months, we noticed she wasn't meeting her developmental milestones. Then at 6 months, she started having seizures. So that was when we really knew this isn't just a hearing problem anymore. And so she started having MRIs and CT scans and found brain abnormalities.
I guess at that time is when we first saw the calcification, and that's kind of what started the snowball effect.
Throughout everything, her results have been inconclusive. So Maddie, as we've said, is medically complex in the sense that she doesn't have a unifying diagnosis. She doesn't have a syndrome or a disorder to kind of explain everything for us. It kind of shakes your world because you expect to go to the hospital and have a doctor tell you what the problem is, and then here's the treatment and here's what we do. And that's just not the case for Madeline. So it's been a big kind of change in perspective for us.
I think it was hard for us because nobody we know has had this experience. It's not in the newborn parent book.
She's growing, she's learning things at school, she's going to music and doing things, and so our goal is just to keep maintaining that or even push her to grow further. And the palliative care model is so helpful for that because we're able to just talk about kind of our goals for her and our values as a family, and then what the plan is to maintain that for her. Those appointments don't get billed at all through your insurance, and CMN pays for that.
We can sit down with Maddie's pediatrician, the PICU doctor, and all of her specialists and have one conversation instead of having 8 or 9 conversations about the same exact thing. And then they can also talk with one another so that everyone's on the same page right off the bat.
She goes to an early childhood special ed program at Summit Elementary in La Crosse, and she loves that. She goes to music therapy at Life and Harmony in West Salem, and that's been really beneficial. She loves it, and they're teaching her things like how to make choices by looking at things with your eyes, and we're trying to replicate that at home so that she can communicate with us a little bit more, and we're seeing her build skills through school and music therapy. We've had an equipment grant for, it's called a tumble form seat. It's a special chair for her that she can sit in. It gets her like floor level, because otherwise wheelchairs and things like that, she's up high and little kids are down low, and so she's not down by her peers or by her sister at home. And CMN, we did a grant for that because it's not something that's covered by insurance, and it was several $100s.
It's really hard that, you know, just because something happened to this child that now they need to be left out of things. Being able to buy that equipment is amazing.
So Maddie gets respite care through the Family and Children's Center, which CMN pays for, which is really nice. With a kid like Maddie or any of the other hero kids, you can't just like ask the neighbor lady to pop over and watch them. So having the respite care is kind of crucial. To other people it might seem like, oh, this is so awful, she has all of these challenges and there's so many things you have to do to care for her. But for her, compared to where she was at age 2 when we're sitting in the hospital and we're not going to know what her future is like, and it seemed so terminal at the time. Now, fast forward to when we're getting asked to be a hero and we're out in the community and we're doing things and she's okay and she's doing well. So being a hero has been a really great way to have a positive spin on it. There's a lot of people in the community just hoping that all these kids do well, and it's really exciting, and it's really nice to be a part of something like that.
They know that it's important and they're out there helping in every way possible.
You're giving opportunities to kids that might not otherwise have them, and you have parents that work so hard to provide for them, but when there's kids like Maddie and kids like some of the other heroes where their medical costs are just insurmountable, and no matter what the parents do for the living, you couldn't catch up to those sort of things, or you couldn't buy them the extras.
The special equipment for Madeline to be able to sit on the floor in a supported chair that supports her head and her neck so she can play with her sister. So she can go to music classes, she can go to school.
Looking back and kind of as we've gone through the process, it's been really helpful for us to not have a diagnosis because her path is not written out for us. Now we kind of all just think that she's Maddie and she's kind of writing her own path, and she's very unique in that way.
We don't have the crystal ball, we don't have a roadmap to follow. We don't know if she's going to live months or years or if she's going to outlive us. So we have kind of just decided that we're going to treat symptoms as they come up, and we're just going to live every day to the fullest that we can.
Thank you.